For the development of modern science and technology, technology is certainly important, but various materials are even more important as the cornerstone. Whether it is aerospace, chip semiconductors, or the newly emerging fields of artificial intelligence and new energy vehicles, they all have a very high dependence on rare metal materials such as germanium and gallium. These rare metal materials are widely used in various fields, such as thermal insulation, bonding, lubrication, and electrical signal transmission due to their excellent properties. From some traditional high-tech industries to today's emerging industries, it is basically difficult to get rid of these key raw materials. However, what the United States and the West never expected is that China, which has a large market share of germanium and gallium, has now begun to restrict the shipment of rare metal materials such as germanium and gallium and a series of refined products. Affected by China's export controls, the prices of strategic minerals such as germanium, gallium, and antimony have begun to soar rapidly in the global market. According to public data, the price of antimony has risen by 230% to $38,000 a ton, and the price of gallium has risen by 30% to 40% in the first half of this year, and is in short supply. One point worth noting is that China's export control on gallium began as early as August 2023. The price increase in the first half of this year is already the second wave of price increases. The price of gallium has already soared in the international market. Most importantly, from the latest public news, China has once again tightened the export control of rare metal materials such as germanium, gallium, and antimony. It is not only a simple reduction of external supply chains, but also the inclusion of some foreign trade-oriented middlemen without military production qualifications within the scope of supervision. This actually means that some companies that are restricted from purchasing can no longer even purchase these restricted export rare metal materials through third-party companies and third-party markets. In addition to some small-scale special channels that can continue to purchase a certain amount of metals such as germanium, gallium, and antimony, American and Western companies can basically only rely on their own countries to mine and produce and smelt these metals. Previously, the United States and the West have been claiming that they have very rich reserves of these rare metal materials. To put it bluntly, they are not worried about China's supply cuts in a short period of time. However, from the anxious attitude of American and Western companies today, it is not difficult to see that the so-called rich reserves are probably just verbal. Nowadays, the U.S. military industry chain, chip semiconductor industry chain, German and French automobile industry chain, and Japanese and Korean semiconductor industry chain have all been greatly affected. For example, the famous weapons and equipment, such as the US F-35 and Patriot missiles, are now facing a rapid increase in production prices due to the lack of key materials. There are also chip companies such as Samsung and Nvidia, which are now facing embarrassing situations, such as supply chain disruptions and shortages of raw materials. For the United States and the West, there are basically only two ways left. Either buy from third-party channels at high prices, or try local mining and smelting production. But the problem is that neither of these two ways is easy to go, and the cost will rise rapidly. Many people may think that the United States and the West also have relevant mineral reserves. Don't they even have these smelting technologies? Reserves and technology can naturally be handled, but this kind of industrial product must not only consider technology, but also the scale of the industrial chain. Now for the United States and the West, not only does it require a lot of technology, money and time to smelt by themselves, but they also face the cost price of the related rare metals and refined products produced by themselves is higher than the market price. That is, the price is inverted. Many chip, semiconductor, and automobile manufacturers, including ASML, TSMC, and Germany's Henkel, are now experiencing supply cuts and inability to deliver on time due to the lack of relevant raw materials. This is enough to show that China's restrictions on rare metal materials such as germanium, gallium, and antimony and related refined products have made American and Western companies begin to complain. Of course, China's restrictions on the export of related materials, in addition to the intention of reciprocal countermeasures, are also in the strategic resource reserve and the rational allocation of resource exports. This means that if China really wants to deliberately target, it will probably only make the United States and the West more uncomfortable. If you agree with this video, please like it, and you are welcome to forward, leave a message and share it.